Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be working on the Solstice GXP again. We're going to be installing a short throw shifter. I measured before starting, and from third gear to fourth gear it's about a 4.5 inch throw. We're going to be installing today a DDM Works short throw shifter, and it seems like a pretty easy install. We just have a couple pieces, so we're going to have to remove this, do some cutting, and they gave us some new metal inserts that go inside there, some bolts, and then this short throw shifter. I'm still going to keep the same shift knob and the boot, that all stays the same. It's just underneath what gets changed. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up, and I'll explain what I'm doing as I do it and get this install done. Okay, so to get started we're going to need to remove the shift boot. So you just pinch it on the sides and pull up like that. Then you can slide it forward, and then there's this like white noise insulator too that you can just kind of lift up and push to the side. And then there is a 3/16 Allen bolt, so we're just gonna get an Allen key, loosen that, and then that should remove this whole like top shift assembly. So I'm gonna go ahead, remove that bolt, and take that off. Alright, so now with that bolt loose, you can just lift straight up and set that to the side. What we're going to need to do now is cut right along in this kind of valley right here, and that's going to give us access to some bolts that will allow us to remove the shifter. One of the instructions said that I just wanted to mention that I forgot before. Keep the shifter in neutral and have the parking brake on. As I was taking off that 3/16 bolt, it did want to shift into third, but you can just kind of hold it there. And really, if you still have this on, it doesn't even need to be tight. You can just put it back in neutral before you lift it, because now it's more awkward to move around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut in this valley so we can get those bolts out. Okay, so now I'm going to get to cutting. So with that cut, we should be able to lift it up, and that will give us access to the bolts that we need to remove. What I found to help me when I was cutting this, the rubber's pretty thick. When I was using the X-Acto knife, I would kind of stab it in a line, kind of making like a perforation, like perforated paper, and then go back in with the knife, and then just kind of pushing with the sawing action. It was easier to get through it that way than just making one straight cut. It's not that easy. So with that out now I can go ahead and get those 10 mil bolts out and keep moving forward. One quick thing I forgot, you see this little black rubber piece that doesn't let you get access to the 10mm bolts, so you just kind of got to get your finger in there and work the edge up, and then you're able to remove it. So there you go. And then you're going to pull it out, and then that will let you have better access. Almost got it. There you go. Now with that lifted, you're going to be able to put everything back that we're taking out. So this boot is going to go back, as well as the one that we cut out. So this one just slides in and out, the other one we cut out. And now you can even see the bolts a lot easier, and we're going to be removing this plate as well. So hopefully this hole is big enough to let that plate come out. So I'll get back to you once I've removed the 10mm bolts, and got this plate out, and we'll do the next step. So you can already see this little metal plate moving a little bit, so we just got to take care not to let it fall. So I'm going to remove that bolt while holding it in place. I'm trying to hold it in place. There you go, so that bolt's out. Now we're going to lift this cap out. It's a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be. There you go. Okay, so with that cap removed, we're able to just pull the old shifter piece up. It's going to be a little greasy, so we got to be careful with it. And we are going to be reusing some of this stuff. We're going to have to take this cap off, I believe. And reusing it for the other one. So I'm going to put this to the side, and this is going to be the next piece that we install. There's actually 2 pins that you might be able to see on the left and right side. So those 2 pins fit into these 2 holes. There's also a spring. It's a round spring, very similar to what this spring is on the top, if you can see right here. It's one just like that at the bottom. So you got to make sure that's flat, and then you can install this piece, which it is. So I'm just going to drop this piece right in there. Make sure the pins line up. There you go, and it just fell into place like it should. So now we're going to have to remove 2 pieces from the original shifter. So we're going to have to remove this piece right here and this white plastic piece to go onto our new shifter. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 2 pieces. I'll let you know how I did it, and then once they're installed on this piece, then we'll go ahead and put it back in, and then it should just be wrapping it up. Alright, so I was able to take those 2 pieces off camera. So here's the white piece, and here's the plastic cap. It really wasn't that difficult. I'll show you how I did it with this new clean piece. So the white cap, it has some kind of like fingers along this side holding it together. So what I did is just placed it upside down on the ground. I pushed on the fingers to help spread them open, and then it popped off. And then for the cap that was here, I just grabbed a 3/4 wrench like this. I slid it over the cap, let it rest on the ball, and then some needle nose pliers, and I was able to pry it off the old shifter. That's just like DDM explained the instructions. Those instructions were pretty clear and quite helpful. So what I got to do now is get some grease on those pieces, put it on the new shifter, and drop it in place, and we should be good to go. Alright, I was able to get the pieces on. I greased this one up, and then I put it on. With this cap, be careful, because if you can see, there's some like little black balls. I didn't know those black balls were there. I greased the inside of the cap and the ball, and when I pushed it in, like it had like an hydraulic effect, and it spit all the balls out. So I put them back. I squeezed them as much as I could. But for that, it's probably maybe a tiny bit of grease, like a skim of it. Press it in, and then you can grease the other parts. Just keep that in mind. So with this ready, we're going to go ahead and place this other metal piece in. The pins go at the low side, so you can see those 2 pins are on the bottom of it. It's going to sit right there, as lined up as best we can. And then these plastic holes are going to have to go in there. And when you're putting it in, you want to make sure that this plastic cap is nice and flat, because it's going to go in like this. And also you want this hole to be on the driver's side, because that's where we undid the 3/16 bolt, which is where the top of the shifter is. So I'm just going to turn this a little bit so these holes line up. There you go. So that's going to line up with the pins. Go down straight as I can. I'm actually pretty sure I got it right the first time as well. The only thing I didn't do was push it down. It kind of has to like when you push, you kind of feel like almost like a suction down that it's like in the transmission. You know it's good because the white piece is pretty flush with the metal bit that we just put in that had the 2 pins. That black spring is normal for it to be out. So the next thing we got to do is put this metal cap back in, and then use these new bolts that they provided, and then it's just the dressings really to put it back. So it's almost done. I'll get back to you once these pieces, this cap is in and the 4 bolts are secure. Alright, so to tighten those, it was just a 5mm Allen key. Now I need to go ahead and replace this little rubber boot, and then I'm going to put this one back that we had cut out. That looks pretty good. Now we can go ahead and put this insulator back on. Like that. And then they also, DDM, I'm not quite sure how it works, but I know they sell an adapter if you wanted to put a different shift knob and shift boot on. I'm happy with the one I have. I think it's fine. So I'm just going to put that one on, but there is that option if that's something you are interested in doing. So now we just get, see, that's why it's important that you had the cavity, the little dip on this side, because that's where your Allen key is going to slide onto. Just like that. You push it on good, and now I just need to tighten this and push it down, and I'll get back to you when that's all done. So it's all put together now. I definitely like how it feels. I took it for a drive. It feels really nice. I'd say it's about a 2-inch difference in the throw. It feels a little notchier. I like it. If you have any questions about how the install went, or anything really, or you have anything to say, just leave it in the comments below. If you like the video, be sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos in the future. Bye guys.